just get ourselves set up here. Okay, here we go.
And now, direct from the Ducks Bar, out at Blue Collarville, broadcasting through Blue Collar Media on podcast and live stream. It's time for the Ducks Shed Podcast.
Get all Australian boys need a shed.
And g'day and welcome to my Shed Bar, which is for the Easter edition. How good is it? And happy Easter to you wherever you are. For the Duck Shed Podcast, broadcasting through Blue Collar Media on podcast and of course live stream on Facebook from my actual bar here in Blue Collarville. Now this is where you would usually find me on most Friday nights and a few other nights as well. Saturday, Sunday, maybe the odd Monday as well. Sitting around here with a couple of mates on the beers and just shooting the breeze. Now, as you know, we're all staying home at the moment, which means I have been here alone, but on the phone, ringing up people and copying a couple of phone calls as well. And as I mentioned last week, I thought, wouldn't it be great if we could record these Friday night phone sessions around the bar and turn them into a podcast? Plus, invite you all out there to join us at my bar here in the shed here at Blue Collarville. So tonight, I thought we would catch up with a couple of good mates of mine. One who owns and operates the famous Walkabout Creek Hotel from the Crocodile Dundee movie. A good bloke. I've had a couple of good nights there as well, as you'd expect, and a real character. So I look forward to, we'll get Frank on the phone in a tick. I just rang him to make sure he was sober, which was half okay, and then he said, I'll just go and grab another quick beer, Duck. So he's gone to do that, so we'll ring him in a minute. And I'm also going to catch up with a real good mate of mine who many of you will know. Radio 2GB and 4BC broadcaster Mark Levy, who's usually working this time of the year and on a Friday night covering the NRL, but with no footy on at the moment. Levy's probably just sitting at home at his own place on the beers. So good luck to you, Levy. We'll get him on and we'll check him out. Now, what we'll also do is we'll get him to call the Coronavirus Cup. Now, I've worded him up, so hopefully he's been working on that. And he's not a bad commentator, Levy. Does some great stuff, especially when we're out on the drink. So we certainly do look forward to getting Mark Levy on the podcast here tonight. Now, look, you too can be a part of this show. Simply just send an email. You can go to bluecollarmedia.com.au and click on the contact button. We certainly do encourage you to do that, and we do welcome the feedback and reply to all those emails. You just go to bluecollarmedia.com.au and click on contact and send me an email. And like we say, you can do that any day. You want to do that tonight, you can. If you want to do that tonight, you can. But normally you can do it any time of the week or whatever. Any requests you have, you might have someone that you might want me to try and get on the phone on a Friday night on the beers and see what they're up to while we're all staying home, as they say. And it's going to be a pretty long weekend, this one. Real long, considering we're all at home. Plenty of people setting up campsites in their backyards and campfires and all that. Plenty of swags. We've just had a hell of a lot of rain come across here. And put the fire out. We'll get another fire going very, very shortly. And we'll have a couple of beers around that a bit later. But in the meantime, let's try and get our mate Frank on the phone. So it's pretty real, this podcast. This is what we do. We just jump on the phone and we'll give him a call and we'll see what he's like. And he was running off to get another beer. Here we go. Frank from the Walkabout Creek pub. Come on, Frank. Answer that phone. Frank.
Right.
Hey, there he is. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, Doc. How are you?
Yeah, mate, I'm going good. Now, look, most people out there, I reckon, would have seen the Crocodile Dundee movie and, of course, noticed the local pub, the Walkabout Creek Hotel. Now, listeners to my camping and off-road radio show know that I'm mates with Frank, and he's Australia's best publican, I reckon. He owns and operates the pub way out there in the Queensland outback. A lot of people actually think it's in the Northern Territory based on the movie, but it is actually in outback Queensland. Our man Frank is a real Aussie character, and I love talking to him on the phone, and he can be a bit colourful. See if he can keep the language down. Frank, what's happening up there, mate?
All right, mate, I'll do my best. We've been doing had a bit of a cementing contract on today, Doc, and we've been drinking beer all afternoon, like keeping our fluids up, so just...
Yeah.
We'll see how we go.
Mate, how you going with the pub shut? Now, I'm tipping what you've been doing is what? Sitting in the cool room, testing out the product up there and making sure that it's not going off for the, for when the pub's open and you can get a few people back in there. What are you doing?
Well, I said before, Doc, it's got to be constantly monitored, mate. But no, actually, I've been having a bit of a go. I've been out the back today, bloody fixing up a couple of would-be trip hazards and all that sort of shit. And yeah, we've got a bit of an opportunity to tidy the place up a bit. So that's what we're sort of doing at the moment.
Yeah, right. Okay, as well as drinking a bit of product. I rang you this afternoon, and you did say that you were on the beers and doing a bit of concreting. I mean, you have and we'll get into the history of the pub and how you came to own that famous pub. It would have to be one of Australia's most famous pubs, the Walkabout Creek Hotel. Just about everybody in the world's has seen the movie Crocodile Dundee. But, mate, you have the big cricket game up there once a year, which is played at the MCG.
MCG, mate, that is exactly right. Yeah, the McKinley Cricket Ground.
Yeah.
Actually, it's just had a bit of a revamp, so next Australia Day when we pull on the bloody green and gold, it'll be bloody, it'll be real good, I reckon.
Yeah, so every Australia Day you have the McKinley Cup, and so for people that don't know, the Walkabout Creek Hotel is located in McKinley, Queensland, and it is south of Cloncurry. So for anyone heading up towards Mount Isa that way, and you're on those trips when we're allowed back out again, make sure you stop into the Walkabout Creek pub because he looks after you there. You've got pretty good facilities out the back for the travellers and the campers and caravanners and all of that. So it's a great spot to stop. Plus you get the famous photo at the pub and you get to meet Frank, the world's best publican. But Frank, how did you end up? We'll go right back here. So the Walkabout Creek pub, it's the actual hotel out of the movie Crocodile Dundee, yeah?
That's right, Doc. Yeah, it's the actual... Yeah, the real McCoy. In the movie, they say, a helicopter ride out of Darwin. But I mean, it's all smoke and mirrors when, with movies and stuff. But we're actually, between bloody Winton and the Curry, yeah. Yeah,
that's it, Winton and we've got to say, Cloncurry for those people who don't know what the Curry is, because Frank is a local up there now. And so you were going past there one day, you stopped in there, you thought, how good is this? It was a bit of a dream to stop at the Walkabout Creek pub, as it was mine the first time I wanted to go there. I couldn't wait to get there. And just to say you've had a beer there, you get home back in Newcastle. Where were you? You're living in Newcastle. Eh?
No, we're actually on our way to bloody Boulia. We were going to the camel races in Boulia after a bit of an outback sort of trek. And
yeah.
When we got we had a couple of beers at the pub here, and then when we got to Boulia the next day, my missus Googled it, and the pub, and she said, "Hey, that pub's for sale."
So being a multi, you've run straight back up and written a cheque.
No, I went back to work, and I went straight back on to night shift after bloody 6 weeks off.
Yeah.
And then I done 2 night shifts, and I said, come home, and I said to the missus, mate, I'm over this shift. So, so I said, let's ring up about that pub. So that's how it sort of come about.
What were you doing? What was your job? You said you're on night shift. What were you doing?
I was bloody working in a crushing plant at a coal mine.
Oh, right, okay. So you weren't an executive or anything like that, an office suit.
I reckon I was up there, Doc. I was up there. I was crossing the black dip. You know how that works?
Yeah. I just imagine you in a suit. Have you ever worn a tie, Frank?
Yeah, I had one on the other day, actually, when I was doing the con. Not lately.
What were you charged? What were you charged with? Were you in court? Were you?
When I tied the knot, I had one on, mate.
So you bought the pub, and I mean, so could you believe it? You thought, you beauty, we're going to own this pub, and it was a bit. Where were you living? I thought you were living around Newcastle somewhere. Where were you living when you bought the pub?
No, west from Billawheeler, like central Queensland.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah. No, it took me a couple of years to get used to the idea, actually, because it is a pretty bloody famous joint, as you know, and
As you are, Frank.
Anyway, I reckon I'm getting into the swing of things now.
Yeah, well, it's only taken you a few years. I remember when we were up there a few years ago, and you might remember the last time I was there, and I was with a couple of mates, a couple of boys from Coldies down here, and we were sitting there. We'd been to the Big Red Bash in Birdsville, and we thought, I said, we've got to go to the Walkabout Creek pub. We were heading to Cape York, So we went the long way around just to catch up with you, and we're sitting out on the veranda of the pub, and you're bringing out the beers, and the bloke said to me, "Who's this little bloke with a beer? Just keep feeding us piss." And I said, "Mate, that's our man. That's our man Frank. He's the publican. You don't look like a publican, do you, mate?"
I don't know what the publican look like, though.
Yeah, no, good point, mate. Exactly right. But anyway, you did. Obviously they look homeless. But anyway, that's fine.
I like to look my best, you know.
Yeah, I know you do, mate. So you bought the pub. So it's a big move because there's not a lot happens in McKinlay outside of that travel season. Geez, it's going to be a quite old, lonely time for you this year, mate, with nobody travelling, and then you've got to go through summer after that. I mean, you're not going to be really. Gee, you want to have a good marriage.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, it'll be. Yeah, I don't know how long all this is going to go on for, but yeah, I'm actually sitting outside enjoying the serenity at the moment and a cup of quiet pots. But yeah, it'll be you know, I mean, I think every business in the bloody country will be suffering pretty badly, and we'll be no different to them folks.
Yeah, no, 100%, mate. It's a bit of a struggle at the minute for a lot of people, and that travel season, which pubs like yours and businesses like yours depend on that, and it was a bit slow last year too, I remember you telling me, so this year it's going to be a hell of a lot slower because there's going to be nobody, so it's, but mate, you'll just, mate, is there any chance the beer will go off?
Oh, no danger of that, Duck. I reckon I'll keep an eye on it pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, we're going to miss the trouble with all this is even if they open up, you know, like in a couple of months, well we're going to miss the season because we've only got a pretty narrow window, and that'll be the bloody end of that. But anyway, we'll just have to bloody play along and wait for next year. You know, that's about how it goes out here.
Yeah, no, fair enough, mate. It certainly will be pretty quiet up there for you, but I'm sure you'll get through it, mate. So, mate, when you've bought the pub and you've settled in, how did you first go moving to McKinlay? Because there's nothing there. I mean, the only other business in town was the Roadhouse, which is now automated. That's still automated?
Well, yeah, well, it wasn't working the other day, so hopefully they sorted that out. Yeah, that's a bit of a bloody shame. All that, as I said before, but, you know, that's bloody progress, I suppose.
Yeah,
It works.
Yeah. So how many people live in town now? I think it was about 18 or something last time I spoke to you.
Well, 18, yeah, we've lost a couple since then. It's about 12 now, I think.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It wasn't, when you say you lost them, it wasn't devastating, was it? Or did they just move?
Oh, no, they just, we had a really nice couple of couples here, and they just, for whatever reason, they've just moved on, bought houses closer, you know, to civilization sort of thing.
Yeah, right. So they couldn't
And
handle
they
it. Couldn't
paid
handle
off, so
it.
that's a bit of-
Sorry, they couldn't handle the pace, mate.
She's full on now, mate, as you know.
Oh, yeah, she's pretty fast.
When are you going out again anyway? Well, we would have seen you by now.
Yeah, no, well, we were supposed to come out there. Well, I was planning on going out there because we were planning on a trip to the Northern Territory, and we would have been heading off after this weekend, and we were going to be up to do some radio shows in the Territory, and I was going to do one on the way back at your pub, Frank. So I was going to surprise you and just turn up.
Well, yeah, you'd have done that, all right.
Yeah, well,
I'd probably bought your beer out, though.
yeah, I know that. Yeah. Well, anyway, so that's all off now, obviously. So but we will get there. That is the plan. We'll get up there and we'll get there, mate. And last time we were there, I think at the end of the night it was you and me sitting in the pub by ourselves.
Yeah, well, ain't strong survive, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly right, mate. Yeah, no, it was great, mate. I'll tell you haven't had a night in the pub until you've spent a Saturday night in the Walkabout Creek Hotel, I can tell you. Now, look, the menu of the bistro, just run us through the menu.
The menu at the moment.
No, not at the moment, but when you're open normally.
I'm going to say it's a bit lean at the moment, mate. There's nothing going on here.
Yeah, no, so what...
Oh, we were selling takeaways, actually. If anyone wants to bloody buy a takeaway there, but they can't come in the pub. You're not allowed on the licensed premises. I've got to bring it out there. I've been delivering a bit of beer, actually, on the mail run.
Yeah, right.
Which has been a bit of a savior.
So you do a mail run. So this is so you live in a fairly remote part of Australia, and this is remote living, really. You're in the outback. How long's the mail run?
Yeah, it's a 400k round trip twice a week.
Yeah, right. Okay. So you do that, deliver the mail, and you put beer on and deliver the beer as well.
Wow. Yeah, I have been known to test one on the way around. Just
I don't want to know that, Frank, if you'd... Mate, you didn't tell us about that menu. I'll tell people who are watching and listening to this that the menu is basically whatever Frank's missus is serving up that night. Is that right?
Yeah, that's about how it works. Yeah.
Anyway, and another thing that's pretty popular at the pub, especially with the travellers, Frank, which I've found out, was the trivia. And I did a bit of homework, and as you know, Frank, I mean, I can dig up a bit of mail, and I found out you were selling answers for $5.
No, well, selling correct answers for $5.
No, you were selling answers, not necessarily correct answers. You were selling answers. Do the people know when they're handing over the $5 that half the time you're as dumb as dog shit and you've been on the piss all day?
No, honestly, $5 for a correct answer. If they wanted to haggle, well, then they'd get any sort of answer they get.
Yeah, right. Okay. So who was coming up with the answers? The person writing. Actually, better question. Who was writing the questions for this thing?
Well, actually, our daughter Kelly, she organises the trivia, and she's getting them out off the bushels, tea bags, and out of the 4X beer top. So as long as you're a tea drinker or a beer drinker, you're bloody laughing.
All right, so you get those little trivia questions on the beer tops, on the caps.
Yeah.
And that was
and also on the bushels tea bags, they're on there too.
Are they? On the bushels ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You wouldn't be going through
more tea, though.
You wouldn't be going through many tea bags up there, I can tell you. I mean, you're kidding, ain't you?
Well, not me personally, but I mean, it's good that goes on here.
So listen, so obviously now it's really quiet. There's 12 of you living in town, so I mean it'd be real quiet. No, and it'd only just be trucks and road trains going past there now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, mate, I'm sitting outside the beer garden at the moment, actually enjoying the serenity, and there's an odd road train going past, and that's about it.
Yeah, pretty.
So I think since I've been talking, I've seen two.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's bloody steady, all right.
Yeah, pretty quiet. So hopefully it'll fire back up, Frank, for you once these travel restrictions get on. You might be lucky. You might jag a few weeks, mate. You never know.
Yeah, well, hopefully, that's for sure. We've got a, you can only do what you can do.
Yeah, no, that's it, mate. And obviously, and for people who ever want to go up there and watch the McKinlay Cup on Australia Day, the drinks break, I think, goes for about 3.5 hours. Is that right?
Well, you got to keep your fluids up, though. Like,
yeah.
You're not
going to get an argument from me there. I mean, but you've turned it into a day-nighter, haven't you? Because how hot can it get there? Like on Australia Day, how hot is it there in McKinlay?
It varies. It can get to about 48 or whatever, but that's why we play under lights, mate.
Yeah, no, fair enough. So what time so is she just a straight out night game, or you don't worry about it through the day too, what?
We kick in about 6:30, but that's about when I sort of start, mate. That's like on dusk, more or less.
Yeah.
6:37. Yeah.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
But it's still good and dropping 11. So,
no.
Yeah, like that time here. They've been bloody real pleasant lately. Like it was only about 36 or something today, 37 or something.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's 37 today. That's not bad. You're out concreting.
Yeah, well, it's not going to do itself.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Did you have any labourers with you, or were you the man?
No. I had a couple of bloody Indians here.
Yeah, right. Okay, you knew it.
I was actually doing a bit of supervising, Duck.
Yeah, I'm sure you were. Yeah.
They reckon it's a poor contract that can't support at least one supervisor.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. So, mate, the big event up there obviously is the Cup. So it's off.
Yeah, mate, the races. Yeah, McKinlay Cup is off. Yeah, it was to be in June, but Queensland Racing is, of course, with all this other stuff that's going on with this bloody bat flu or whatever you like to call it. She's all over, and but I think they're going to run the race in. They've got to run the race anyway. Apparently, to run the horses. I'm not sure how all that works, but they're going to run it in the Isle. So
yeah, right. Okay.
But with no people there.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right. So with the McKinlay Cup, you've got 12 people live in town. How many do you get to the races?
Oh, we did 400 or 500 there, I reckon.
Geez, that's all right. Geez, you'd be a big weekend in the bar that night, eh?
We shut the pub and go to the races, though.
You what? You shut the pub and go.
Shut the pub and go to the races. Yeah.
Do you go back? You don't shut the pub too often, do you? I mean, What do you do then? You go back to the pub after the races? Or you two pissed to go back and open up?
No, we have a bit of a night, like a fair bit of a night on the Friday, and then we shut the pub Saturday,
Yeah.
go to the races, and have a bit of a... We open again on the Sunday and have a bit of a recovery day on the Sunday.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
but-
all right. And that sounds all right. Now, you don't shut the pub too often, but you did shut it recently over Christmas when you went to... Where did you go? You went to Scotland.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so, and I've mentioned this for people that might have heard it on the radio show when we spoke to you about that trip to Scotland. I mean, how did you get through customs over there when they saw you coming through? I mean, did any alarms were any alarms raised or what happened?
Oh, in Dubai, they bailed up.
Oh, Dubai. It's probably because you're still at the Kildon.
They're pretty serious, them fellas.
Yeah, what happened there?
Oh, not much. Like, 'cause I had the RMs on, of course, and bloody, and they've got a steel, like a brace thing in the sole, and
Oh, yeah, in the Aaron Williams boots.
Yeah, and they got to look the part, duck, it is all about him.
Yeah.
Anyway, but no, we got out there, all right. We got our scathed. There was no cavity search, so I was pretty thankful for that.
Yeah, no, fair enough, mate. No, well done.
Yeah.
All right, well, mate, it sounds like you were pretty big over there, and you got into the warm beer, but they had cold beer too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they had an amber ale called. The name escapes me at the moment, but it was bloody. It'll come to me. Like as soon as I bloody get off the phone, it'll come to me. But it was bloody. Yeah, it was my pick. It was like Ireland's got the South and all. I got the Guinness and all that sort of stuff. But this stuff, it was all right. It was just an amber.
Yeah.
Innis and Gum, it was called.
Well, what was it called?
Innis and Gum.
Yeah.
Innis and Gum.
Innis and gum. Okay, all right. What did it taste like?
Innis,
all right?
not Guinness. Innis, like
Innis,
we just
yeah.
say with an I.
Yeah. No, I'm not that bright, Frank, but I get it. I did hear, that's all right.
I thought you might have got round me stutter there.
Yeah, I know. That stutter's been getting worse over the last couple of hours too, since I spoke to you earlier. But anyway.
Yeah, it is, by the way, yeah.
Anyway, but I'm tipping over in Scotland, mate. You would have been big over there because there'd be a lot of people over there that know your pub. So I'm tipping that you would have been walking around wrapping yourself, just saying, "Look, I'm Frank. You might have heard of me pub, Crocodile Dundee." Mate, has Hogs ever been back into the pub since you've had it?
No, not since we've been here, mate. No.
He's had to be
We
big.
actually went over. We spent a bit of time in London before we went to. Like before we went to, because like we flew to Heathrow and then we got a train to Scotland. But so we did a bit of a walk around. They'd done all the Monopoly board more or less, and we pulled around the Lizzie joint, and she mustn't have been home because the gate was locked, and I probably should have rung her before we got there. But
Hang on, whose joint?
Liz, bloody the Queen.
You are an imbecile. Oh, fair dinkum. Anyway, so all good. Yeah, well, I did tell you before you went you should have took some Walkabout Creek hotel hats and singlets and stuff.
Took a few. I unloaded a couple.
Would have paid the trip, mate.
And that was good advice on your part, Duck, yeah.
Yeah, oh, mate. I'm full of good ideas, mate. Don't worry about that. And
Yeah,
so,
ideas, man. I've always said that.
now listen, just before we let you go, just tell us what happened in Dubai.
Well, nothing real major, but we had there was no scuffle or no punches thrown, but we got out of there all right. And I think that'll.
Oh, Jesus, what did you do?
I think so.
Well, your mouth off? You just didn't understand what their culture, or what happened? You just didn't get
Well, they
it.
just run you through like your cattle, they hunt they really just hunt you through. Like they got all these little lanes where you could walk. They got these little. You go zigzag backwards and forwards. If you're going to walk about 20 yards this way, you've got to be about 200 yards up and back.
Yeah.
And then they hunt you through, and then you get there, and then you stop. And I don't know why they do that. And then as soon as you get through one bloody barricade, then they keep hunting you to the next one.
Yeah, right, okay.
I don't know whether you've been over here, but it's
No, I haven't been there. I don't intend on going there, Frank. I mean, mate, if I'm going to go anywhere, it'll be up your pub to have a beer with you, mate. All right. So, mate, so what's happening tonight? You're just kicking back, having a couple of beers and watching the concrete dry.
Yeah, that's about right, mate. It's, well, I'm going to go and have a bit of tea in a minute.
Yeah, what are you having for tea tonight?
Well, Mrs. has been cooking up some seafood prawn thing, and I reckon that'll be the go, yeah.
Yeah? Where do you get the seafood from out there?
Oh, it comes from Townsville. We got Andy from bloody, like he's got an Outback seafood truck.
Yep. No, fair enough.
He comes through, a couple of, every month or two, yeah.
Yeah, right, okay. Oh, that's good. And it's the only pub I know of, the road train pulls up in the front car park to drop off the kegs, which I think's pretty unique in itself, mate. So,
well, the other is a triple road train at that.
yeah, triple road train. Well, there you go. Well, they're all big out there. All right, mate.
Yeah.
Well, mate, you're going to be in for a bit of a quiet time, mate, and we can only hope that, hopefully they'll start opening pubs, and maybe they should think about opening some of these once we get a bit more of this isolation thing out of the way, and they start opening things up. Hopefully they'll open a couple of rural pubs up, especially ones where there's only 12 people in town, and gradually get things kicking along, which would be good for you. Although 12 people, they want to be 12 good drinkers, wouldn't they?
That'd be bloody nice. That'd be nice, though. The sooner I get you up here, the better, mate.
Yeah, I know. I'm still paying off the last bill that I had there. Anyway, all right, mate. Well, mate, you take care, and we are thinking of you, mate, because I know at the end of the day we have a bit of a laugh and everything, but it's going to be a bit of a struggle, mate. But I know what you're like. You're a resilient bloke. You'll get through it. You'll be sweet.
Yeah, mate. We'll see how we go.
All right, mate. Listen, just before you go, did you write your name in the concrete when you did it?
Oh, we're like scratching X from there, you mean?
No, not an X. I mean, you can spell Frank, can't you? It starts with a eh?
Starts with a T-H.
All right. Well, mate, you go and have your tea, and I'll keep in touch with you, and hopefully we'll get up there soon, as soon as we can hit the road again, eh?
Look forward to it, Doc. Good to talk to you as always, mate.
Yeah, you're a good man, mate. Say good day to everyone in town for me, will you?
I tell them to.
I'm sure it won't take you long. Hey, listen, when you do that mail run around, do you do the local mail? Or when you do the home deliveries on the beers, you do home deliveries around, like on foot? In McKinley? I mean, can you just imagine, there's 12 hours. How long does it take you to deliver the beer to the 12 houses? What, half a day? Half a day?
Can take, yeah. I've got to go to Johnny's place, and that normally, takes... Yeah, that takes a while.
Yeah, so what happens? They order the beer, you get to drink half of it.
Well, you can't let them drink on their own, Doc.
Yeah, I know, mate, and it is pretty isolated out there, very remote part of Australia, mate, so I'm tipping you've got to do the right thing for the community. Good on you, mate.
Too easy, mate. Good to talk to you.
No, you're a good man, Frank. Take it easy. You may get through this quiet time. It'll all be over soon. You'll get a few travellers wandering through there, mate.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Sooner rather than later, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, mate. I'll talk to you soon.
Go on, mate. See ya.
Good on you. See you, Frank. And there he is, my mate, Frank from the Walkabout Creek Hotel. And I've got to tell you that he's a real character, isn't he? I mean, he's unbelievable. And mate, it just gives you an idea of what it's like to live in remote parts of Australia. I mean, it's nothing like the big smoke out there. We've got 12 people in town and absolutely nothing happening there. So, he's a real character. So if you haven't been to that pub and you are a bit of a traveller, make sure you stop in there at the Walkabout Creek pub and have a beer with Frank. He's a pretty hospitable bloke, and he will drink with you. Don't worry about that. He had plenty with us when we were there. And like I said, we were sitting on the veranda, and a couple of the boys said they couldn't work out who he was. And if you go onto our Facebook page, you'll see the photo of Frank and I, and he certainly, I don't care what he does, looks nothing like a publican. I don't know what a publican is supposed to look like, but I've got to tell you that he doesn't look like a publican. Anyway, don't forget you can be a part of this podcast as well. You can just send an email to Blue Collar Media. So you go to bluecollarmedia.com.au, click on contact, and send an email. We'll reply to all those emails as well as we kick back here on the Friday night in the bar. So what we're going to do in the meantime, I'm going to pick up my phone here. And I'm going to ring my mate Levy, Mark Levy. Now, for most people who know, Levy is a sports broadcaster on 2GB and 4BC, so we'll just get him on the phone now. It's pretty real. This is what normally goes on here on a Friday night, so we're inviting you into my bar here. Hello.
Hello, Doc.
Levy, what's going on?
I'm hungover.
You hung over?
I turned one on last night, Doc. I had some beers in the fridge and I had too many, so I'm paying for it tonight.
Oh, you're kidding, aren't you? How many did you have?
Oh, I don't know, 10 more. I don't know. I lost count. I lost count when I went to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Jesus Christ! I mean, you're there on your own, aren't you?
No, I've got one of my flatmates, one of my good mates, Calvo, and his girlfriend is here. So
Yeah, they live there, so
that
all self-isolating together. And now, for people, look, you have to be living under a rock not to know who this mate of mine is, Mark Levy, and I've known him for a long time. I first met him way back in 2008 when I went to work at Radio 2GB in Sydney, and we became mates pretty much straight away, and we've been pretty good mates ever since. And you'll hear him on the continuous call team on 2GB in Sydney and 4BC in Brisbane and stations all around the place as well. And you fill in for the great Ray Hadley as well, Levy. That's a big job for you, mate. You handle that all right?
Oh, it's not easy, mate, and I take my hat off to him. He's done a remarkable job, and forging his successful career. It's very. I remember the first day I was asked to fill in for him, and I remember walking down the corridor thinking to myself, I hope I don't stuff this up, and I'm still doing it, so I must be doing something right.
Yeah, no, exactly right. Now, mate, you'd normally be at the footy now, mate. What do you think about what's happening with the footy? You'd be missing it, but then obviously, I mean, now you're hung over on a Friday night instead of, leading the charge on the rugby league coverage. Mate, what are your thoughts on the footy being off?
Well, mate, I think John Barilaro, the Deputy Premier of New South Wales, summed it up best yesterday. He said that, rugby league could be the tonic that helps people get through this coronavirus, this global health crisis. So, look, at the end of the day, they had to suspend the competition because the advice they had from their biosecurity expert was that they couldn't guarantee the safety of the players. So when that's the advice coming from health experts, they had to suspend the competition. Am I surprised that that they're going to get it back up and running from May 28? Well, yeah, I am. I'm surprised, but at the same time, they're a lot smarter than me, and if their advice is that they can continue the competition, well, what's stopping them from doing it? So May 28, bring it on.
Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. If they can do it, mate, it'd be great because then we could. Well, mate, that's why we thought we'd start this podcast because I usually sit here and watch the footy, and I'm just getting that beer passed to me, Levy. No, up the top fridge there, Courtney. Yeah, that's where the light beer is. That's the visitors' beers in the bottom fridge. That's the good stuff up the top.
Why don't you tell everyone? Why don't you tell everyone you joke about light beer or?
No, I won't be telling anybody my joke about light beer here, Levy. But there is a couple of jokes about light beer. I don't think we don't drink light beer, do we?
No, mate. I refuse to drink light beer, but I don't mind the nip strength because you seem to be able to drink more of it and not end up with a headache.
Yeah, no, fair enough, mate. We obviously weren't on the lights last night or the mids last night. But mate, I mean, at the end of the day, we used to do a radio show together, so people who follow me and follow what we do, they know we're mates. But Levy, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, go way back, how did you get into this caper? Because did you always have an interest in wanting to work on radio and do sports broadcasting? Because you were at Sky, but what was the passion? What was the inspiration to get into this?
But I sort of fell into it because I always wanted to be a paramedic growing up. I wanted to work in the ambos, and I sort of got turned off that when I went to a party when I was a kid. One of my mates vomited, and I couldn't handle it, and I vomited as well. So I thought ambulance paramedic is probably not for me. And then one of my dad's good mates used to be one of the bosses at the Tab, so I got a job at the races carrying the money around for all the ladies on the tote, and one day I got a phone call to go up to the race caller's box to fix Ian Craig's computer, and I asked him if I could stand in the back of the box and watch him call a race, and I did, and that's where I sort of fell in love with commentating and broadcasting and sport and the like, and one thing led to another. I got a job at Sky Channel, and now I end up at 2GB.
Yeah. And you've been there for a while now. And what did you? I mean, I was there in 2008 and did 12 years. How long were you there? And you've been there. You were there when I got there. When did you start there?
Yeah, I think I started a year before you, so I think I've been there about 13 years now.
Yeah.
I'm flying and having fun, eh?
Yeah, you done well, mate. You survived. Hard to
Well,
do.
mate, it's a pretty cutthroat industry, if you would know that, the media. So,
Yeah.
you know, I worked at Sky Channel for 8 years, or something along those lines, and I've been at 2GB for 13 years. So, yeah, I mustn't be annoying too many people. They keep giving me a new contract.
Yeah, no, that's right, mate. And in fact, even now, when you ring me, and people don't know this, but when Levy rings me, because Levy used to do the sport at 2GB in the newsroom, and at the end of every report, it'd be that sport and Mark Levy. So I even do it now. When you ring me now and I see your name come up on the phone, that's how I answer the phone, and I go, that sport, I'm Mark Levy.
I won't tell you what goes through my head when your name pops up on that.
Yeah, you're gonna be Jack. What do you want? What about when I ring you on a Friday or a Saturday night at around about 10:30 when you're on your way home from doing the rugby league coverage? What goes through what goes through your head then?
I have had some of the worst dribbling conversations in my life with you on the way home from the football, where you sat in that chair with your little, border collie Bluey, and you're sitting out the back.
What do you mean, border collie? You imbecile? He's a blue cattle dog. He's here tonight too.
Oh, blue cattle.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
He was just barking
But, mate,
before.
you just need to slow down on those 2 EUs. I mean, I can't understand. But actually, you know what's even better than ringing me on a Friday night? If I'm bored or something driving home from Penrith or whatever from the football, I'll ring you, and then your lovely wife answers the phone and says, "That part down on the lounge, what's doing?"
Yeah, I know. And I mean, you do have that. But I remember that time we were at a party. Do you remember when we were at a party? What was that story about the dress? Remember that? We were at a party and there were, I had to worry there for a while. I mean, you were sending my wife text messages asking her to make your fried rice and all this shit. The next thing, what was the story about the dress? Remember that?
Well, we were at there was a lady. The week before, we were at your great mate and our great mate Kevin Waters' place for a barbecue, and Jackie had a colourful dress on.
Yeah.
Next week we went to one of our colleagues, Ray's executive producer John Redmond's engagement party.
That's right.
And there was
Bravo.
another lady at the party.
Yep.
Another lady at the party had the exact same dress on, and I said to Jackie, I said, "She's got that dress on you had on last week." I said, "Jackie, you wear it better, though, love."
Yeah, I must admit. I mean, you come out with that line, and it just made me look like shit, really, Levy, because I didn't come up with it. And mate, you're calling her Jackie, which we normally call her Blackie, as you know.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
Well, mate, I must admit, with lines like that, why am I still a single bloke? Who knows?
Yeah,
One
I
of
know.
life's greatest things.
And what people don't realise too is you're one of the great dancers. Which I mean, when you go to
Full of things.
you are one of the great dancers because, as you know, I mean, we've gone to a few dudes over the years, Levy, and for the blokes like me who just want to sit at the bar and drink, and the missus wants to go and have a dance, we send you up to fill in. Bullshit! It's not fibs. It's fair dinkum.
Oh, rubbish. I am rhythmically challenged. I mean, I sang a song on Ben Fordham's program the other day for charity, and now people have reckon I can sing. I said, "What? I sounded terrible."
Oh man, I saw that. Actually, I thought you went all right. In fact, I thought you might have been lip syncing, whatever it's called. I didn't know you could sing.
What did you say? Lip syncing?
Oh, I don't know what it's called. I mean, how would I know? All I do about only syncing I do around his keens. Anyway,
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, but what? So that was I did see that, which I didn't know you could sing, which I thought was you did an outstanding job there, Levy, with the singing. But I'll just tell you anything you want to hear, mate. You know me. But and as you know, I mean, how's your pool going? Because I know you've bought this new mansion down in the Shire, and it has a pool. And I've become your pool advisor because I've got a pool here, and I've had one for years. So you'd ring me and say, "I'm doing this, I'm doing that. What do I do?" And I'd just give you a few tips. How's the pool going, mate? She nice and crystal clear?
She is crystal clear, but I've got an admission to make. I was down along the pool yesterday morning. I was trimming some of the hedges that have grown in some of the rain we've had, and I actually slipped and fell in. So it was a bit of a disaster. But anyway, I got myself out, and let me just say, it's not heated, so it was very, very cold.
Oh, mate, yeah, well, Blackie's into me about her. She goes in the pool every day. She's in it again today. It's raining, and she gets in there and swims every day. She wants me to get it heated.
tell me she's doing the aerobics, why don't you get in there and do some macro aerobics as well? What about that's the video content for your Facebook page? Hello,
mate,
sleep in a swimsuit.
Mate, listen, I did a bomb in the pool here one time and a bloke 3 doors down's car got washed.
Mate, you did a bomb in the port like a tsunami.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anyway, but mate, on a serious note, you're now in charge of the continuous call team, broadcasting around Australia, covering the footy. Can you believe you've got that gig?
Well, no, I can't. And, you know, I said on our first show back that, you know, I'll be forever grateful because, you know, I grew up listening to the continuous call team with my dad, who was a South Sydney supporter. And it was, you know, it was must listen radio on the way to the footy, on the way home from the footy. You'd listen to Ray and Bozo and Chippy and, you know, and now Big Man. So it was a part of my life before I even thought about working in the media. And then to think that one day I was just sort of asked to do around the grounds reporting, and then Ray took me to Canberra and said, I've got to call the game on Channel 9, you can host the continuous call team for a couple of hours. And yeah, then I became sort of, you know, one of the fill-in hosts. So, you know, it was very daunting at first, but, you know, it just becomes part of what we do. And, you know, we're all great mates in the show, and I just hope we can continue the success that it's had for the next 33 years.
Yeah, it's a bit of fun, mate. I listen to it most weekends, as you know, when I'm just kicking back and having a couple of beers. Are you looking forward to the footy? Obviously, you blokes would be, you know, chomping at the bit for the footy to come back on. You'd be looking forward to that, wouldn't you?
100%. I mean, there's nothing to watch. I mean, tomorrow the old bank account will get a workout because racing's the only thing we've got on at the moment. So,
Your sports bet accounts.
Well, exactly right. Well, couldn't go. Speaking of which, Erin Molan had a horse running at Warwick Farm on Wednesday. Susie won Susie, I think it was called. So she's declared it to all of the members of the continuous call team. So we've all, you know, had a plunge of it. We've had a bit of a lash. It ran second last.
Oh, well, mate. Well, maybe she should have took David Morrow's advice when he kept that hot tip to himself last weekend and he picked up a 40-1 winner.
Let me just give you a little tip about the great Thursday, who I love and adore, one of the greatest sports commentators in the country. David Thursday Morrow has this habit of tipping you a horse after the race. You know, the thing will hit the line and it'll say, "Your little beauty, best bet of the day." Gets up. We go, "What?" And he just doesn't tell anyone.
He keeps his guts on. Anyway, now just on the racing, Levy, we do know that you are a fairly competent caller. And you've called some pretty good races at a function here. I think we were at the Tourmaline Hotel one night with a heap of mates, and you called a dogs race there with everybody's names in the races. We wanted to know if you could do the Coronavirus Cup for us tonight. You reckon you could handle that?
I remember that night, Doug. There were a few colourful characters there.
Oh, yeah, there were.
I particularly remember the bloke that had spiders tattooed on the side of his head. That's a story for another day.
Yeah, that was your chauffeur. That was your Actually, talk about your chauffeur. You went home on a tilt tray. The last time I saw you was you hanging out the window of a tow truck with your car on the back, and you were singing Creedence or something. What were you singing out the window?
Oh, who knows? That was one of the great nights. So I drove out to this particular pub to see Duck. He said, "Come on, get on the drink." And I said, "Mate, tell me got the car." He said, "I'll get you in the car home." And as you know, listeners to your podcast, Duck's a very connected man. He says, "I'll get you home." He said, "Give me the keys." I walk out the front, there's a tow truck with a car on the back of it. Anyway, great stuff. Yeah, I can do the coronavirus. I'll come up with the names for the duck. All right?
Yeah, okay. Let's run through the field. Let's run through the field. So this is the Coronavirus Cup. So let's run through the field now.
I've written down 6 names for you. So I've run out of toilet paper is number 1. Number 2 is panic buying. 3 is self-isolation. 4, let me out of the house. 5, work from home, and number 6, the race favourite, the Ruby Princess. You ready for the Coronavirus Cup?
Yeah, right. Let's go.
All right, we'll make it a dog race.
Oh, hey, I'm talking about dogs. There's Bluey in the background. Can you hear Bluey? That's security. Bluey security here, as you know. All right, now here we go. So we're lined up for the Coronavirus Cup. Let's cross to Mark Levy. Take it away.
Green light through the control tower, the running set in motion. The Coronavirus Cup, the time-honoured event on the Blue Collar Media podcast with Duck Creek there. Ready to run. Racing, I've run out of toilet paper, began beautifully to all the inside, let me out of the house away quickly as well. Worked from home, kicked the gates and went straight to the front. It's Worked from home leading the race by the inside from Let Me Out of the House, followed by the Ruby Princess. They were followed by Panic Buying, and then came I've Run Out of Toilet Paper down the back. It's Worked from Home, going to the front, leads out by a length and a half from Let Me Out of the House. They were followed by Self-Isolation, Panic Buying. I've Run Out of Toilet Paper and the Ruby Princess at the tail of the field. The race favourite's going to have to do something from here. Worked from Home in front, Let Me Out of the House, going at him. Worked from Home, Let Me Out of the House. Let Me Out of the bloody house wins the race.
Yes,
Let Me Out of the House won it from Worked from Home. They were followed by Self-Isolation, Panic Buying. I've Run Out of Toilet Paper, and that damn Ruby Princess at the tail of the field.
Oh, what a performance from you, Levy. The crowd have gone off out here at Blue Collarville. Oh, well done, mate. Well done. It is a good party trick, and I've actually rang. I remember one night, I think we're on the drink with a couple of mates out here, mate, Big Dave Rampling and a few other blokes here in the shed, and I was talking about your calls, and so we rang you, and you were on the drink somewhere, and I got you. You're in Nebraska, and you've had to do, and you've done the race call from the men's toilet with all these other people around at some pub somewhere just to entertain us. Well done.
That's all right, mate.
All right.
It's not an easy thing to do, and I mean, fan and calls are the easy part, but you got to tip your hat to some of the professional race callers out there who do it for a living, including one of my mates, Darren Flindell, who's of course got the championships tomorrow. They do a bloody good job. It's tough work calling races.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Levy. Well, mate, thanks for coming on our Shed podcast tonight, which normally you'd be on the phone tonight anyway. Although, you notice tonight we haven't mentioned anybody's name. Normally we're just bagging people, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'll stab the old one in the back as well on the run through.
There's a few names we could mention more than others, isn't there?
Which we usually do. Anyway, no, we don't.
True.
Anyway, all right, Levy. So you're on deck tomorrow, so people can tune in to TGB Sydney or 4BC Brisbane and stations just about everywhere for the continuous call turn. You're on at 2 o'clock tomorrow, Harvey, yeah?
Yep, 2 o'clock, lots of random rubbish and time for a laugh. I think everyone is in need of a laugh with what's going on at the moment.
Oh,
we'll have a bit of fun for 5 hours tomorrow.
Yeah, good on you, mate. All right, Luz, I'll give you a hoy a bit later on. You can ring me a bit. Give us a ring in about 10 minutes and just ask me how you went.
You're kidding. That's usually the phone call from you. The usual phone call from the duck is, what do you reckon, mate? How I go? I said, for God's sake, it's no different to last week.
Oh, yeah. Just ring up and say, yeah. Mate, how did I go, Duck? Was that all right, mate?
I tell you what, I loved your interview with Kevin Bloody Wilson last week. I think you'll have to put the explicit tick next to this particular interview.
Yeah, no, we're lucky to survive that. He's a good man, Kevin Bloody Wilson, and he's out there at Dillygaff headquarters over there in Perth. He's got a live show on Wednesdays and Sundays on Facebook, so if anyone wants to go and check that out. And just on that, I just want to thank everyone for the feedback from last week. It was all pretty good, actually. I was surprised we didn't get a shitload of complaints, Levy. You wouldn't have got away with it on the radio, but anyway, we got away with it last week.
No, it was good. It was good, mate. And I'll tell you what, if I'm the best you can get on your second episode, I can't wait to find out who's on next week.
Yeah, no. Well, actually, anyone who walks past my house will be the next one next week. No, mate, it was a good distraction. That's the whole thing about what we're doing here. And just to give some people something different to look at on a Friday night with no footy on, and we're just here talking shit basically, which is all right. That's what we do anyway. So why not record it and just have a bit of a crack? Now you're a good man, Leaves. I'll give you a ring tomorrow and give you a score of how you performed here tonight. That race call was pretty good.
I'll tell you what, I can't wait. I'll be counting down the minutes to find out what you scored my performance, given I do it for a living. Thanks so much for your time. Goodbye.
It'll be at 11. It'll be at 11. Before you go, Blackie's here waving from the other side of the lights and camera here saying, see you, Levy.
See you, Blackie. Love you a bit. See you, little duck. See you, Thought.
Yeah.
See you, Duck Creek. And I tell you what, if you don't get a sponsorship from Tooheys New on this podcast, they're kidding themselves.
Oh, mate, hello. I'll hold the can up to the camera here. Yes, of course. All right, mate.
I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you later, mate. Thanks very much, pal. Talk to you.
Bye, mate.
See you, mate. And there he is. That was my mate. And there he goes. That was my mate, Mark Levy, on the podcast. And like we say, just on last week, I just want to thank people for all the feedback. We got a lot of emails and messages, all pretty positive, which surprised me, to be honest, but all very, very good. And like we say, this podcast is all about just trying to get, we just want to create a distraction of what's going on in the world. And I figured if we're all going to stay home, why not stay here, in the bar here and get a few people on the phone and record all of that. So that's what the whole idea of it is. And of course, if Tui's want to sponsor it, I'm more than happy. We can back a truck in the driveway at the front here with a pallet on, a couple of pallets, or well, maybe 1 or 2 pallets anyway. That'd be good. But no, that's what it's all about. And that's what we normally do here on a Friday night. We sit behind this bar here and have a few beers and a bit of a laugh. And we either get on, well, these days we get on the phone and talking to people because we can't go anywhere. No one can come around and visit me. Not that anyone come around anyway. But anyway, no, it's all good. But for all that feedback last week, certainly do appreciate that. And it was all very, very positive, and everyone got a bit of a laugh out of Kevin Bloody Wilson. And like I said, if you want to see a bit more of him, you can check him out on Facebook Wednesdays and Sundays. He does the live stream from Dillygaff, he calls it Dillygaff HQ over there in Western Australia. If you want to be a part of this as well, you certainly can be. You can just send us an email, go to bluecollarmedia.com.au, click on contact, and you can do it. But in the meantime, that is our podcast for this week. Thanks very much for tuning in on a Friday night in my bar. I hope you've had a kick back and had a couple of beers. We'll be back to do it all again next week, hopefully. And until then, stay safe, stay at home, which is probably not ideal, but I'm sure you'll find something to do. Happy Easter to everyone out there, and we'll catch up with you next week.